Thank you. Wow, it's really a huge crowd. I have to say, a big growth from the last year, I would say. Yeah, so let's begin because we are short on time. On today's presentation, I'm going to present Solvera Lynx really shortly in just a few words, our focus, our core business, and one of our first clients starting LoRaWAN journey with us. So Solvera Lynx is 17 years old. We started off at 2002 with around 7 employees, and we grown through the years to about 40. We are already about around 45 employees altogether, and our focus is on energy management solutions. Agnostic of technology devices that we are using, we're basically providing end-to-end solutions to our clients, from the connectivity parts, sensors, and software solutions, of course. So in our company, we build both actually hardware devices, but are agnostic to any other third-party devices if needed. And we develop our own software called Gamma Logic. If we look at our portfolio of solutions, we are working on 3 pillars, basically, on energy monitoring, energy efficiency, and energy flexibility. Now, if we look at this from a little bit different perspective, it's not just about the energy monitoring anymore. So it's not just about gathering the data, see what is our actual consumption, but basically bringing that to the next level. So adding energy efficiency. Energy efficiencies within the companies is actually a process. And with our software, we tend to help companies to kind of pick up that process, and software helps determine what is the role of energy consumption and how to basically make control and make our consumption efficient. Our main focus is on gas and water. We are really strong on gas, everything from gas tank monitoring, gas tank farms, providing services for distribution companies, for TCOs as well, and water monitoring. On the other hand, we are quite strong on electricity monitoring and efficiency, and we are working with solutions for railway industry, actually consumption on the trains, electricity consumption on trains. The second pillar, energy efficiencies, our focus is on industry and commercial buildings for now. We are not focusing that much on residential buildings because of the costs of implementation, at least for now. But this is definitely one of our goals for the future. And one of our, I would say, services that we provide are energy audits. This is basically our step in to the clients. We start with energy audits, where we basically make the diagnose what is the energy consumption, where the energy is basically consumed. Either we are talking about the machines, buildings, or any other systems basically that consume the energy. The next step is adding energy monitoring to see what is the current state. And from there on, setting specific type of KPIs together with the clients and having specific energy management analysis such as Q-SEN diagram, monitoring and target analysis, counterplot analysis, something that I'm going to speak about a little bit later on. And the third pillar is our energy flexibility. This is basically the next step. So not only monitoring and being able to efficiently use your energy, but basically being able to control the consumption. In some cases, especially for peak shaving in electricity, we need to turn down or turn off some of our consumers, basically engines, heat pumps, and so on. And we kind of provided or developed a solution for that. Plus, we have a prototype device that is able to control, switch off some of the consumers, or the biggest consumers within our customers' industries. I'm going to present first connected cement factory. This is one of our first customers, basically, in our LoRaWAN journey. They've been with us since 2015. Of course, we started off with a different technology and then moved to LoRa. Basically, we have a mix of different technologies there, GSM, GPRS technology, and of course, LoRaWAN. Why we decided to go with LoRaWAN from technical point of view, it was really quite easy decision in the end. The company is quite old, the infrastructure is quite old. They have 25 buildings scattered around quite large area, around 6 square kilometers in a narrow valley. So some kind of GPRS, GSM, Ethernet powered solution or wired powered solutions were not really possible because the cabling itself would cost around $100,000. So LoRaWAN has proven to be the best fit for this type of customer. They have 25 buildings, they produce 30,000 tons of clinker per day, and their ambition was to become top 10 of EU companies in energy efficiency. Oops. Yeah. So what were their challenges, actually? They needed to adapt the infrastructure to the new environmental regulations. They had lack of data at one place. So what were they doing? They were basically doing everything by hand. They were walking around the industry, and they were, writing down the energy consumption, which was quite a hassle and didn't really provide any good analysis at the end. Lack of energy data for individual assets. Lack of detailed KPIs relating to energy efficiency, because they implemented ISO 50001, they needed some kind of monitoring solution to be able to make their consumption efficient and to become environmental efficient company. They had extremely high energy bill. They have around $9 million cost per year, and they needed complex analysis, included energy, production, and taking into account weather conditions as well. And in the end, the goal was to reduce the energy consumption per ton. They are using 90 gigawatts of electricity annually, and 8 gigawatts of gas, of course, calculated from cubic meters, and 400K cubic meters of technological waters. So as you can see, the costs are huge, and their ambition was to reduce the costs at the end. As mentioned, there was no, basically there was no way to go and do the cabling across the whole area, so we simply went with LoRaWAN solutions. We set up 3 gateways across the area. Basically, 2 gateways would be enough, but we added another one to have a redundant solution, network server in between, and our cloud solution called Gamma Logic connected with our devices called COMBOX L, and we had a couple of COMBOX M devices using GPS, GSM model where there was a need or where there was a basically power supply available. Why LoRaWAN? Well, this is an old slide, and I believe we all already know what the technology brings. It's basically best quality-price ratio. We provided a really good range. The signals are good enough to ensure battery life over 2 to 3 years. It's a long-distance solutions, and for now, we can see it's a quite safe and reliable solution. Of course, we had ups and downs, especially while we were developing solutions, but at the end, it had proven to be quite powerful solution for our clients. On the other hand, we have devices that can connect pulse, temperature, status on-off, using different protocols from Modbus, TCP, MBus, wireless M-Bus, and so on. When it comes to technology, GSM, Ethernet, and LoRaWAN, so basically, within most of our clients, we use mix of all those technologies. And our software, Gamma Logic, gathering all the data, providing simple raw data about consumption, and then adding the KPIs to basically set up the goals. So what is my consumption today, and where do I want to be in, let's say, 3 years? How do we achieve that? Well, once we set up the KPIs, we also take or plan some extra measures how to bring down the energy costs, of course. Energy costs will not bring down by themselves. So you need to put some extra measures, either calibrate machines, lower the air conditioning temperatures, for example, or something like that. And in our case, with Salonit Anhovo, since they're really huge consumer of electrical energy, there is a need for peak shaving. And at some point, they have to bring down or turn down some of the machines in order not to go over the peak, because in that case, they're penalized and they get quite a lot of higher electricity costs. And for them, it was very important to be able to provide some kind of alarming system that would send an alarm if there was a huge deviation in the electricity consumption, so that they could turn down some of the machines for a certain period of time to be aligned on the energy costs. We tend to bring our data to other systems. Usually there are some kind of external ERP systems that are pulling information from our system. And very important, we always take in consideration external weather conditions to make analysis, to bring better benefit on the analysis side as well. When we are talking about the data collection, we set up 36 COMBOX L devices running LoRaWAN, altogether using 90 measuring points with water, electricity, compressed air, and pump cycles and gas. We set up private LoRaWAN network. Basically in Slovenia, where we are from, there is no public LoRaWAN network provider. So since we were able to bring the added value to the customers, we just decided we're going to build our own private networks. And so far, it works. And as mentioned several times already, we have Gamma Logic software on our one hand, and our COMBOX device is built for harsh industrial environment on the other side. We didn't save on the costs, so our devices are not the cheapest ones, but they have proven to be quite robust, have quite good range because we invested in good antenna, for example, casing that can be installed in dry shafts, water shafts, and so on. So basically, our technology, I would say, is bulletproof. We have ATEX certifications for X zones. SCQ quality tests were done as well with IP67 protection, so all the certificates are there, mostly for European market. We don't have ATEX certification, for example, for other markets, but we are working on that. And most importantly, what were the end results for the customer? First of all, they accomplished the primary goal, to have one holistic monetary energy solution to have all the energy consumption in one area. 23% of CO2 emission decrease over 3 years, energy saving of 4,522.3 megawatt hours, introduction of the software with all the necessary reports and features available, so reporting site, dashboards, end users can create their own dashboards by themselves, alarms, adding possibility to add thousands of measuring points, and of course, simplify the data collection at the end. And just a few words about the software, our Gamma Logic. As I said, it's not just about the monitoring. At the end, you need to take some measures, create and set up the KPIs together with the customer to set a goal where you want to be in a certain point of time. This is one of the examples of the dashboards. These are the geolocations. As you can see, the valley is quite narrow, so that's why we had to set up 2 base stations plus 1 for redundancy. And this is type of analysis or counterplot analysis before and after. As you can see, this is for the buildings. This is for the temperature, basically. So you can see what was the deviation on the temperature side across the whole office building before we introduced the system. And once we calibrated everything, once we set up the temperature on a certain level, you see that basically it's crystallized, and we see that the biggest consumption is actually during the weekdays. Compressed air analysis, this is basically monitor and target analysis, where we were before and where we are after we set up the goals and work to go towards the goals. Compressed air savings, as you can see, difference 20 kilowatt hours, price 0.07 euro per kilowatt hour, saving per year, just on the compressed air side, 12,000 euros. And in some cases, we managed to reduce the water leakage as well, from, let's say, water leakage 130 cubic meters per day to reduce actually from 20% to 5% leakage. Without a monitoring system, this wouldn't really be possible. We would get a bill, and then we would see that there's something wrong and that there's something happening. So with all that together, we managed to satisfy the client's need. We provided the added value, and most importantly, the savings are actually there. That would be all from my side. If you have any questions, I'm going to be there for a couple of minutes, so you can stop by and ask. I have plenty of other stories. We have, let's say, altogether around 40 to 50 clients already on LoRaWAN, so I would be happy to share the stories, the pain points that we saw during our journey, and I'll be happy to help out. Thank you very much.
Klemen Logar.
Right on time.
If you don't mind, I have one more question to ask you. I saw a 3% reduction in cost from 20 to 5% water leakage. What else in the coming years with maybe new technology, how much more could you shave off in an example like this?
I think that the biggest asset is going to be the flexibility part, where we're going to be able to control the consumers. We did a quite big pilot project in Slovenia in cooperation with Hitachi from Japan. It was called NATO project. You can find it on the web as well, where we included, I think, 160 households plus a few small industrial clients. And the saving that we managed to get out was quite astonishing. The saving on the peak times in the winter period was 30%.
Wow. Wow.
And we're talking just about the electricity. So the other consumers are going to get there as well.
Great things ahead of us. Klemen Logar.
Thank you.